Flosstube, I'm Jessie. Welcome to Bobo Stitching Quilts, a channel primarily about cross stitching and every once in a while some quilting. You can follow me on Instagram at boba_Jessie. I love to have you there as well. For those of you who are returning, thank you so much for keep coming back. I appreciate it. For those of you who are new subscribers, welcome. I hope that you enjoy what I have to offer in this Flosstube community. There's a lot of us out there, and so I appreciate that you take the time to come and hang out with me for a little bit. With that, because I have had quite a few new subscribers, I want to give my very much felt appreciation to Racio at Cocohamas Stitchery and Laura at Laura X Stitches for their shout outs, because I'm sure a good number of you came because they mentioned me, and so thank you to them. If you're not watching them, if you somehow came to me organically from someplace else, you should be checking that out because they're fantastic and fun. And so I was actually thinking about, like, I don't have a whole lot this week, but I was kind of thinking about maybe I can explain to you where my name came from, and because this is the beginning of my anniversary week. So Friday was actually my dating anniversary, our first date for me and my husband, and September 28th is our wedding anniversary, and so we're celebrating anniversary week. And so when I started dating my husband, I had two dogs named Greta and Ronnie, but I referred to them collectively as the Bobos, and so they were Bobo Girl and Bobo Butt. Ronnie was a bit of a butt, and so those were kind of their names, and then it was like Bobos. And then one time I accidentally called my husband Bobo instead of his name, and so thus he became a Bobo too. And so it's basically our names for each other, and his family calls us the Boas and things like that. So that's where Bobo came from. For anyone who's wondering, like, whereas I don't know if I would answer to it if you were to see me randomly in the street and be like, "Hey, Bobo," but at the same time, I might, because people do call me that. But it is a relatively new nickname on my end. But when I was thinking about what to call myself and what to call the channel, everyone was like, obviously Bobo. So because my Instagram was Bobo Jessie, and so anyway, so that's where I came from, and so that's a little bit of a background on that. And so with that, let's go ahead and get to some cross stitching. My apologies right off the bat. There's a lot of allergies going on, so I have a cough. I don't have the COVID. No worries. I also would like to show you my Snoopy Tervis, because as far as I'm concerned, it's Halloween season. So I may be coughing and drinking because that's how I have my allergies reactions. It's a bit of a rainy day here in Texas. Tropical storm Beta is hanging out off the coast, and it's slowly making its way in. It's going to be like 5 days, it seems like, of rains coming in. So we're getting the first wave of that rain coming in for us. I'm far enough inland, just so anyone's worried about that. I am outside of Houston, but I'm far enough inland that we're not expecting too much of a disruption in my life, and plus we're still staying at home, so it's not like anything's happening. And so where I am, we're expected to get several inches of rain, but the type of flooding that we'll be experiencing will be like street flooding and that kind of stuff. So really, it's just like a Tuesday here in Houston. And so when it rains, FYI, anyone who comes to Houston, if it's raining in the summer, there's a chance you're going to have some street flooding. It's just the way Houston is. We're called the Bayou City because we were built on a swamp. So, but as you get closer to the coastline, the rain chances increases, the flooding chances increases, but no one's expecting it to be anything, although Beta is giving us a good fight. It's trying to turn into a hurricane, so we'll see. Anyways, so that's my day. But overall, these past couple of weeks have been very, very, I have not gotten that much stitching done in these past couple of weeks. I ended up working on Sunday afternoon to get some work done. And then I ended up also having 2 really long evenings where I was also working into the evening this week. Just things happening at work. And it's just, you know, I am a workaholic, and I come by that, not honestly, I'm just a workaholic, but I've been very good, like, about trying to make sure I don't do more than I absolutely have to do, and like not working for the sake of working, but making sure I rest and things like that. Like that's a thing I'm working on. So, but this week I came by it pretty honestly. We just had a lot of stuff to do. The rest, I was not enough time in the day, so I didn't really do a whole lot of stitching. I will say this though, that this has always been my hobby. I've always done this, but I was never like an intensive like cross stitcher. Like I didn't do it every day or anything along that lines. Like I would kind of work on it once a week or something. This is the pre life, right? Like before COVID. And so I would kind of just work on it, and I had some other hobbies, and my husband and I would go out and do things. And so I never really, it was just one of those, like, it was at that time really, I was a monogamous stitcher, but it was really a process stitching. It was like things I would work on when I wanted to relax and something. And since coming home from COVID and not having as much to do, I've increased the amount of stitching that I've done. I think I mentioned this before if you've gone back and watched my old videos. And so I ended up starting to stitch every day, more frequently, became project oriented a little bit, although it's still very process. It's still about doing the cross stitching. And I'm very surprised in this week when I actually had several days where I didn't do any stitching. And not to say that it didn't happen before, since coming home, but what was fascinating about it is that I'm realizing I'm feeling stressed out. And I kind of, the only thing I can think of is I've worked these kind of hours before. It's not like I haven't worked like this before, but it's only I can think of is because I've gotten the cross stitching has done so much to help with my relaxation every night. It's meditative to a certain extent, right? Because you're doing something repetitive. Now, if I'm doing something that's like confetti heavy and I'm concentrating, it's not necessarily as meditative as when I'm just filling in blocks of color or doing, that kind of thing. But even that, like there is a meditative aspect to it, say with knitting, crocheting, whatever, right? Anything that you do repetitively. And so it's kind of, so I'm actually feeling it. And so it's kind of, it's very interesting. It's like, because I didn't replace anything in those days that I didn't stitch because I was working, I didn't do anything. And so like, now I'm just like, so now I'm like, I must stitch more. Anyway, so that's my excuse now. Now my excuse is going to be, I gotta do at least some cross stitching every day in order to help maintain my stress level. I need to keep it down. So, but that being said, I really didn't get a whole lot done this week, so it's not very exciting. I have some haul though, so some updates. With that, let's just get going. 8 minutes in, too much babbling. Anyways, all right, so I only got to work, so first up is Sailor Moon Scouts, Sailor Moon Squad by Tilton Crafts, and I'm going to go ahead and insert a picture here of what it will look like when it is done and where it was the last time you saw it. Okay, and this is, ooh, you didn't see that. That's and this is where we are. Not very far, not very exciting. I put in about, I think I should have had some notes. I didn't have notes. I put in about 600 stitches. I'm gonna say, I think I had about 800, and it says I'm about 1300 at this point, but I'm at 1.08% complete. Only 99% more to go. Super exciting. This is a full coverage piece, obviously. I'm doing this 1/1 on 25 count Lugana. The fabric itself is beautiful to stitch on. I'm really enjoying it. My favorite needle size is a 26, which is what I typically use. I'm going to switch to a 28. I feel like this is a, it's narrow enough that I need to use a smaller thread and smaller needle. So I'm going to switch to 28 to see if it makes a difference. I find because this is extraordinarily confetti heavy, I do have to work on it. I have to concentrate on it. I don't move as quickly. One of the things I've learned, I don't know if I'm fast, slow, or whatever, but I stitch on average about 120 X's, so 240 stitches in an hour. That's about my average. If it's confetti heavy, it drops a little bit more. If it's just blocks of colors, it's a little higher. So like when I was working on just rows of color, I can usually do about 150 in an hour. And I don't know if that's normal, fast, or whatever. But when it's super confetti heavy, I'm super slow. So I didn't get a whole lot done. That's going to be an issue. That means it's going to take me 500 years to finish this. And I don't want that. I was joking with my husband. I'm like, I'm going to be like 80 working on it. We have dementia. I'm like, ooh, Sailor Moon. But yeah, I don't know if that's really going to be the case. But so anyways, so that's where we are, and that's what's happening with it. I've decided, you know, because it's Halloween, that means Thanksgiving, and then Christmas, New Year's, time to start making 2021 plans, right? That's how my brain works. And so I think that I don't do a lot of, I belong to a lot of Facebook groups, and I don't do a lot of challenges or things like that. I watch some other Flosstubes, and I think that sounds super exciting, and I think it's a great way to kind of get people motivated to keep doing things, but I don't have enough whips to kind of do some of these challenges. And so, but I do belong to Full Coverage Fanatics, and I'm kind of been a lurker this whole year, but I think I'm going to join their year-long challenge. So 21 over 21, so 21,000 stitches, and then they have what they're going to be doing is a book challenge. So it's classical books, and you're basically trying to do either stitch count or themed. And so I think I'm going to do it by stitch count, and I think I'm going to make Sailor Moon Squad my focus piece for those challenges. I think that if I stick to it, and then my other goal is to finish, so obviously I started in the top left, is to finish Sailor Venus in 21. Now that means it's still going to take me 5 years. If I do a scout a year, that's 5 years to finish, but I want to see how it goes. Can I, like, how quickly I can get, like, I'm going to try to focus and try to see how quickly I can get done, because if I can actually get 2 scouts done in a year, then that's, you know, 3 years. We'll see. Anyways, so that's enough about Sailor Moon Squad. That's where I am. Next is Cinderella. So I did work on that, not as much as I usually do. Cinderella tends to be my focus piece, so I tend to work on it in the evenings, Monday through Friday, and then I work on my other stuff on the weekends. It's typically what I do, and my weekend plans are really just whatever I feel like working on. And with the exception of Emily's house, which I'll talk about when I get to Emily's house. And I didn't do that as much because, again, I worked a couple of nights, or I worked late, and I didn't have as much time to work on it. So I'll go ahead and insert, as usual, a picture right here of what it will look like when it's done and where it was the last time you saw it. Okay, and this is where we are. Let me pull it back so you can get a full. I put it on a bigger Q snap, or I did extensions. I don't have the long bars for the whole thing, but anyways, and then up close, this is where I basically got a little bit nervous about whether or not I had enough fabric. This is the kit, right? So this is the fabric that came with the kit, so it should have been enough. But as I was kind of working on these parts, I started freaking out a little bit that I wasn't going to have enough in the bottom. So I basically did almost the entirety of, this is at the bottom. This is the bottom of the chart. So I kind of basically did cross country of just this one color just to get to the bottom of it, and I filled it in. So that's kind of where we are. So I feel safer and better that there's actually enough fabric at the bottom. I don't know why I had that fear. I think when I was just working on it, I just was like looking at the count and stuff. I was like, oh, is there enough? So so I didn't know. So anyway, so this is on AIDA. It's 2/1. I don't know how if you know how you're supposed to say that, please tell me, because usually when people just say it's AIDA, they don't say, right? They're like, oh, it's just AIDA. But is it over one? Like, because it's a square? It's not, right? Because obviously it's more than one thread. But anyway, so it's I'm using 2 strands. And it's the kit called For Fabric and everything like that. So I'm still enjoying it. As a reminder, we do have a hashtag for if you are working on a Disney Dreams, any of them, not just Cinderella, Snow White, Lion King, Cinderella, whoever, Little Mermaids out there. Be sure to use it, Once Upon a TK Stitch, and I'll put that below so that way you can follow along, and love to see what you're working on it. I think these are beautiful patterns. I think it's a shame that they actually are out of print and people aren't working on them as much. So, but maybe they'll show up someplace else. Anyway, so that's that. I'm gonna take a pause here. All right, sorry about that. Welcome back. All being all sniffly. So next up is Chinese Zodiac, and by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And as usual, I am going to pause right here for you to see what it will look like when it is done, and what it was the last time you saw it. And obviously, as you saw from the picture, the September part has been released, and this is where I did not get the chance to work on it very much at all this week. So I just finished the circle all going up, and then this little part of the fan part, the little border. That's it. Not a lot. Again, just not a whole lot of time to stitch. I will probably finish it this weekend or tomorrow. Kind of depends on how focused I'm going to be. So as always, I do love this. So I am doing this 2/2. This is 28 count casual linen, pictured as plus sand. It is called for DMC. Kit was provided by Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And I do think that the kits are still available if you are still interested in joining along at any time. It is pretty fast. I will say that the thing that takes the longest amount of time is actually the circle part. That each of the animals go really, really quickly. And so, as always, I'm really enjoying this. It makes me happy when I work on it. And so, this was my weekend project this weekend. Another thing that kind of slowed me down, but not really, I don't want to complain about this. We went to Austin this weekend to celebrate my mother-in-law's birthday. And so obviously we were celebrating her birthday. Can't go around just stitching all day when celebrating her birthday. So anyway, so this is where we are on Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And last but not least is Emily's house. So I'll go ahead and insert a picture here of what it will look like when it's done, and what where was the last time you saw it. Okay. All right. So unintentionally so. So in addition to what I do with Cinderella, so what I do during my Monday through Fridays is I work on Cinderella and in the evenings until about 9, 10 o'clock at night. So I work on it in the evenings, and then I basically go to bed. Well, not really. I don't go to sleep, but I get ready to go to bed, and I go lie down in bed and things like that. And when I'm in bed, I work on Emily's house. And what I basically have been doing is that, as you saw from the last time I had finished the house, but when I was working on the house, my goal each night was to do 3 strands every night. I didn't always accomplish that because that's a lot. It's actually a lot when you're, but, so that was kind of my goal behind it. And, you might want to see where I am. Here I am. It's all wrinkly. So sorry about the wrinkles, but I've gotten quite a bit done. So as you can see, I've gotten most of the motifs done at the very bottom. There's one flower on the left side here that I still need to do. And that is it. And I got one letter down at the bottom because I just had a little bit of thread. So I just carried that and I traveled that. I completed that. And I'm really super excited about it. So as I was saying, in terms of my plans, what I did is that I would do 3 strands a night to just keep working on it, because it was just these big giant blocks of color, the Grecian gold and stuff like that. So I am going to basically do the same thing. Now that most of the motifs are done, I'm going to do the same thing with the grass. So that's the way I'm going to try to move it forward. So as you saw in the finished product, this whole bottom part is covered in green in the grass, and in the endive is the color wave. And so I'm going to continue to do that, which is 3 strands a night, just to be able to kind of push through. And then as I get closer to the edges, then I'll go back to a motif a night type of thing. Basically for the border, I'll probably do a flower and a vine a night. The goal is to finish this in October. So I feel pretty confident about it. The pattern keeper is not 100% accurate because of the way it imported it in. But it says I'm at 54% complete. So I feel pretty good about it. But otherwise, that's it on my cross stitching. I really didn't, again, I didn't get a whole lot done. I didn't work on a whole lot of different things. But I felt like I mean, obviously Emily's house, I got tons done. Oh, yes, I forgot. This is going to be on Edinburgh linen, which is 36 count. I'm doing this 1/2 with the called for DMCs and Gentle Arts thread. And this pattern design is by Lindy Stitches. So, so that's where we are on that. I have one silly finish. It's not really a silly finish, but I wanted to make a smaller project bag. And so I went ahead and did one. And that's what Emily's house was living in. So here it is. If you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen it. So here's the back of it. Here's the front. You can see it's like a little flower on it. I wanted one that would fit my 8x10s. I take an 8x8 and 11x11, and I make them in 8x10s. It's my preferred size for my smaller pieces. Obviously, my bigger pieces sit on 11x17s. And so I wanted one that was just going to be just big enough just for that. And so I kind of did my own measurements and things like that. And so I went ahead and fitted it. It fits. So I'm going to tell you, it fits everything. This is Emily's house project bag now. Obviously, they don't match or anything like that. I don't care. The only thing is that when I print out the pattern on 8.5x11, it's a little snug up here. You know, I gotta force it in a little bit. It's not a big deal to me. So I'll probably make some small adjustments to the measurements next time I make it, but I'm pretty happy with it. This is also my way of saying, if you are purchasing project bags from other people and you're not making them yourselves, they look simple enough and they're not horribly difficult, but they can be annoying. And if something goes wrong, it just goes wrong, you know, and you're just like, and you have to unstitch, you have to do things like that. And so, so anyways, just know that when you're buying good quality products from people, it's well worth the dollars. So appreciative to all those people out there making a living, working hard, making projects for people. All right, that's it. That's it on finishes and etc. and all that kind of stuff. But I do have some haul, so I understand it. I get it. You want some haul. So it was just a miracle to me because I order these things and then they never show up, right? Like I'm just like, eventually they show up. But I actually did go to some stuff and they came in pretty quickly. So first, I went shopping with the Snarky Crafter on Etsy. Everything I'm going to mention, I'm going to link below, details all that below, to order some needle minders. And it was super cute. And I got them. And so first, she included these cute little, a water bottle sticker and a pushy sticker, reading a book, which I thought was super cute. And one I've already started using, she gave me a little thank you thing of a needle threader. I normally don't use needle threaders. But I got it and I was like, oh, this is nice. I don't normally use it. And I just stuck it in my little supply bin. And then, like it was meant to be, I needed just like 2 more stitches and I knew I had just enough floss, but trying to actually get it like rethread, it was impossible. And sure enough, I had a needle threader and it worked. So thank you, Snarky Crafter, for that. But I ordered 5 needle minder. So I'm going to I have it all on here. So let me zoom in. So these are the 5 that I got. So really, the one I was shopping for, oops, stay focused, is the Rest Stitchy Face, which I thought was super cute. Maybe I need to just sit behind here. And then, well, you know, you go in, you can't just buy one. So then I was just like, you know, feeling stabby. Has You Stitch, Princess Bride is one of my absolute favorite movies. Time for Tea, because I drink tea, I don't drink coffee. And the octopus I just thought was absolutely cute. I did purchase a pattern, which I think at some point in time will arrive, that this will fit perfectly with when I get it. And I'll mention it when I actually get it in a haul. I'll show you in a haul. So anyways, they are these, let me show you. These magnets are giant. Like, look at that. I mean, and they're like, wow, like, don't put anything that can be demagnetized around these. These are like super strong, right? So super great quality. You know, I'm really excited to use them. So link below, check them out. She's got lots of really great designs. They're not all snarky. Some of them are just cute. Some of them are vintagey. So anyway, so that was a happy find for me. I'm really happy about that. Everything's in my little Ziploc baggies. So, as you may recall from my little mini whip parade, we had my one small little finish there. I am planning, as a plan, on finishing this sampler. I had finished this guy, and so now I was decided to go ahead and get the, make the little border around him, which I had not planned on doing before. So there you go, picture there. I see you, Rocio. I know you want a little flip through the book. I'm going to do it just for you because you're one of my favorites. But I did get the Fortune Count Black AIDA to match the blue AIDA that I have, and the flosses for it. So not an exciting purchase, but I'm just telling you so that way you know what I'm going to work on and what it's going to look like. So I'm super excited about getting that because, as far as I'm concerned, it's Halloween time. I am not a Halloween 365 person. It's my favorite holiday, though. It's just funny because I don't like Halloween. To me, it's just fun. It's just fantastic. And I love it. I think it's wasted on children, but not really, right? Obviously, I know children really love trick-or-treating and things like that. But, like, I don't go out. Like, we don't go to parties. We don't go to anything like that. For me, it's about the shows that I watch, and I like cutesy things. Like, right? My bucket list was to go to the not-so-scary Disney party, right? Like that, you know? So, I like the cutesy things. I love It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. I mean, I believe in the Great Pumpkin. I want to find the most sincere pumpkin patch. And so, so I don't, I can probably work on a Halloween product at any time, but for me, Halloween season begins like September 15th and it goes through the end of October. I just finished making my playlist on Disney Plus. I'm going to totally marathon Halloween Town. And I'm going to watch the Nightmare Before Christmas, I just love it. And I do try to keep it to this time period because it makes it special for me. So with that, I'm super excited about this next haul. I was just doodling around on 1-2-3 Stitch because you can't just buy products. You can't just buy supplies, right? You got to look at other things. So I was like, I wonder what kind of patterns they have for Halloween. And so I got this. This is the Pumpkin Thieves by Madame Chantilly. Look how cute this pattern is, right? It's a little witch and her cat, and they're stealing pumpkins. I love it. I love it so much. And I literally cannot wait to stitch this. And so with this little pattern, I'm going to start this. Next video, you're going to see a new start. And now I haven't had a chance to make the thread drops, but so obviously they stitched it on a neutral kind of thing, but there's a moon here, and I feel like if you're going to steal pumpkins, you're going to do it in the middle of the night. It's the witching hour, right? So so instead of getting a neutral, I ended up purchasing Picture Disc Plus Nocturne. So here it is. I'm going to be doing it on 32 count linen. Picture this plus. And so that's the linen that I got for it. I have not made the thread drops for it, but these are the called for fabrics, called for floss, GMC in the pattern. I think that's going to be fine. There's nothing on here that makes me worry that it's not going to stick out on the blue, on the night sky. And so I think this is what it's going to be. So I'm excited. There's going to be a new start. You're going to see it next week, next time. There might be a finish. Who knows? I'm actually not sure how big this is. 267 by 132. But it's not like a full coverage or anything like that. It's like a Barbara Anna. It's like the Santa one I did. So I think I can do that in a couple weeks. If I focus on it, we'll see. So super excited about it. Yeah. And if anyone's doing Halloween stitching, let me know. I love to follow all of that. So, and geeky things. I like geeky things. I never explained why I started doing my own little floss tube. So although I think it's a variety of things, I do find that I don't find that many floss tubers who stitch the same things I do. And so I see a lot of Dis nerds, and those are great. And I do follow a lot of them. And you do find people who are like Frosted Pumpkin, like, fans and, you know, things like that. But I don't see a lot of nerdies, just my nerd folks. And so, that's why I started it. I was like, I want to see people, like, there's gotta be other people like me who want to see like the nerdy things, right? So there's like Crafty Gaming, Jamie, is that right? I might have some of those words backwards. And then like Angie, she does a lot of nerdy stitching too, but I had a hard time finding them. I am sure they're out there, but I had a hard time finding them. And so I decided to go ahead and start my own. What's really funny is that since I started my own, I don't know what it is, the way I hashtag things or whatever, but I'm starting to find more of the nerdy types. So if you got some like nerdy type floss tubers out there, let me know. If you're watching them, let me know. I love to be able to watch their stuff. I mean, I have a go. If you look at my my subscription list, you'll see that I have there's a variety of different types of people. So I'm not like, oh, they're a sampler person, or I'm not going to watch them. I don't feel that way at all. For me, it really is about personality and like whether or not I feel like I could hang out with them, right? And why I choose who I watch. But but at the same time, it would be really great. Like, there's enabling happening, and I would love being enabled by things. And sometimes I watch them, and I'm like, I love this person, and I think they're great listening to them, and watching them what they do. But I don't want to buy any of the things they're working on. I don't want to work on any of the things they're working on. And it's beautiful stuff, like, right? It's personal taste. There's no right or wrong. We are all allowed to have an opinion. So, anyways, one more piece of haul to share with everybody. This one, I did not get this on the first round, so I was really, and I hesitated because I was like, I'm not sure I love the pattern. It's a cute pattern. So I was kind of hemming and hawing on whether or not I wanted to do it. And plus I knew we were getting close to the end of the summer, and we were about to get into Halloween season. And I knew that I was going to continue to work on the things I was working on, but I knew I was going to be like, I'm going to focus on Halloween. And, so of course it sold out, and then I regretted it. As soon as it sold out, I regretted it. But sure enough, it came about again, and that is Lindy Stitch's Boobies Kit, and I think it's Happy Feet or Happy Dance is what it's actually called, but I'm calling it the Boobies. So she did her little drawing on the envelope, and it's like, "Hi, Jessie," and I feel like it's so silly. I'm like, I have my own very original Stephanie original. You know, I feel bad throwing this away. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Maybe it'll serve as my project bag, which is silly because, well, if you follow Lindy and you follow Lindy Stitches and Stephanie, then you know what I got, which is I got the whole kit. And this is like an unboxing right here, right now. And so, so this is the project bag. This is actually, when I look at this is probably better dimensions than the one I made. But, so this is it. The back is the blue-footed boobies, which is obviously a really sweet, cute little bird. The fabric, although it's because of the way the stitching happens, it's actually lined up, which is fantastic when it comes to directional fabric. That's talent. That's actually talent. And I think this is super cute. And so let's see what's in the package for everybody. And so it does include 2 pieces of coffee candy, which I'll share with my husband because I don't like coffee. And of course there is the actual pattern. Oh, beach dance. That's what it's called, beach dance. So here's the actual pattern. And it was finished. Her sample was finished, has a little needle holder thing. And so, so this whole kit includes the finishing trims from Lady Dot Creates to be able to do the finishing in that thing. I will probably do that. I'm not very creative when it comes to finishings, and so when I see something and someone's going to show me how to do it, and I think it looks cute and it looks great, I'm going to try it. So I'm going to go ahead and probably try this finishing the way that it's been modeled, because I think it actually looks really cute. And then of course it also includes the specialty threads in the fabric. So there's a classic color works. Look at this nice little bow. Sugar plum, and then 3 weak dyes, chestnut, chickpea, and boysenberry. But look how pretty those colors are. So it does not include the fabric in this kit. So you know, as we know, you can't find any hand dye fabric right now. It's near impossible. So, and she has this little boobies card, all the different types of boobies. She thought there was only just blue footed ones. No, there's tons of other ones. I think this is just a cute card. I'm going to find the perfect person to pay this forward to. So I know there's someone out there. Actually, I know exactly who it is. I'm not going to mention it because they may watch this little video. The little finish sticker for when you're done with the thing that Lindy always includes, which I think is beautiful. And then she always kind of has these little minis that she includes when you purchase one of her products and it's mailed to you. There was a turtle last time with a balloon, and now she's got a new one, which is a little mouse, and it's called Before the Ball. Is that a Cinderella inspired one? Before the Ball, Cinderella inspired. If it's not, I'm gonna assume it is. So, anyways, that's it. That's all my haul. That's it. That's all I have to say. There, I don't have a whole lot of life updates. My mother-in-law had her birthday, so happy birthday, Mama Bear. And, you know, we're just chugging along. I want to just very briefly, pay homage to Justice Ginsburg. As you may know, I am a legal aid attorney, and there are lawyers, there are judges and justices that transcend professions, right? Like people know, and usually that's the case with the Supreme Court justices. People know who they are. But there are a lot of warriors out there who do good work, justice work. And I'm going to rename Emily's house as the doorway to justice, is how I'm going to refer to it, because many low-income people can't afford access to an attorney. They just can't afford to hire an attorney, and there's a lot of rights that get impacted as a result of that because they're not represented. You see that a lot in evictions and in family cases as well, when the low-income spouse is unable to afford an attorney, and it impacts their visitations and custody and things like that. And that's just a couple of examples. And I think sometimes what's really hard for people is that laws are not always just, and there is always, laws have been used always as a tool of oppression. Not best, but an obvious example. Slavery was legal, was unjust. I don't think anyone's going to pretend that it was right. And you had to fix that. We had to fix that. We fought a whole war for it. And I think that's kind of, in Justice Ginsburg, before her career as a judge, before her career as a justice, did that for us. That's what she fought for women mostly, but it impacted any disenfranchised group where there were laws that were unjust, and it allowed people to be oppressed, and it allowed people to be hurt by it, because the laws allowed them to be hurt by it. And so things that are small that you probably take for granted, if you're a woman with your own bank account, that was a thing she fought for. If you are a woman who has been able to get a mortgage on your own, rent an apartment on your own, those are things that she fought for. And so despite politics, which I hope that people will transcend politics when it comes to the roles that people who choose a life in public service do, and you are able to see the service that was provided. She did a lot. She didn't do it alone, and she will be the first to say that she did not do it alone, but she was a fulcrum in it. And so the loss of Justice Ginsburg hits with me. It hits with me because I feel like she is a guiding light when it comes to how to fight for what you believe in, and how to fight for things that are just. And so I think that her presence will be missed, whether or not you always agreed with what she had to say. I agreed with a lot with what she had to say, but sometimes not, right? Every once in a while you're like, not sure, but that's okay. We're allowed to disagree, but as long as you continue the big fight toward the long bend towards justice, I think that's what I hope people will be inspired by her. And so I know I've seen a lot of different things on social media and talking about her memory. So this is what I will say. I hope that let her memory be an inspiration to how you choose to engage and treat people, and how you choose to look at laws and whether or not they are just. So thank you, everybody. I hope that wherever you are, you're having a stitchy good time. Say you love your loved ones. You never know how long you got them. Wear your mask, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.